I said it'll be a 30-minute phone call. Most of my phone calls are 5 minutes. You know, basically, what do you need done? And then we schedule it. And then the call is over. But I told Mike and Audie, I gotta call this guy, it's gonna be a 30-minute phone call. So I had to find 30 minutes so I could make this phone call. That phone call was 29 minutes, 42 seconds. That's what my cell phone said. Because we had to go through every detail. Which is good. And unfortunately, I know this stuff, so I did that with him. And that's one of the reasons he's called me back to do another job for him. If I was just in Rick mode, what Rick would want, what's most comfortable to Rick, he would not have felt comfortable. So to get an analytical, to make a decision, go through the process of where they want to go, step by step, all the details, and then are you prepared to move forward on this? They'll give you a yes or no. No means they need more details. So you either don't give them details and you don't get them to do what you want, or you give them all the details. Okay, let's do some discussion. What are some of the characteristics of a driver?
Fast.
Yep. Impatient. Direct. What else, Jonah?
To the point.
To the point. Sorry, I wasn't picking up on
My thing.
They're blunt.
Yep.
Don't care about details.
Right. What do they fear? Not being in control. Yeah. Very good. How would you present an idea or a proposal to a driver?
Yeah. Leave them in control like they're making the decision.
Yes. How would you present an idea to a social?
Still like direct, but with bigger picture.
Bigger picture, right? Not many details. You're going to be more stimulating, right? You're going to connect. You're going to spend time connecting. Which style do you think is hardest to identify in a person?
Can you rephrase the question?
Yeah. So of the 4 styles, which one is the hardest one to pick up on? So, is it hard to pick up on a driver style? Is it hard to pick up on an analytical style?
Yeah.
Right? They're going to control their emotions. They're going to be very detailed.
It's definitely an amiable one. Because
Right.
They're always asking you what you want, so you're more focused
Right.
on yourself already.
Does that make sense? Abby nailed it. So if you're having a hard time picking up the clues on somebody, normally, not normally, but oftentimes, it's because they're amiable. They're more concerned about you than about them. So very intuitive. How would you satisfy a married couple, so say your mom and dad? So you're talking to your mom and dad because you want them to buy you a car, something very controversial. One is a driver and one is an amiable. How do you present it?
I think driver style, because the amiable is kind of going to go with whatever.
Yes. And I'll jump in on that. So you got to be fast enough not to lose the driver, right? Brief, to the point. You know, this is why. Boom, boom, boom. Bottom line, mom and dad, this will cost you $5 grand out of pocket, but it'll save you 20 hours a week driving me around. Whatever. You make a brief, to the point. But here's the kicker. With the amiable will not be quick to say no. But they're going to mull it over, right? They're not going to do the conflict. But as you start going down the path, you start looking for a car, you'll start getting the, oh, I don't know. can never pull the trigger. So when you have a driver and an amiable, you're quick with the driver, and then you keep coming back to make sure the amiable is on board. Because they're going to be slower, and they're not going to directly say no. They're going to say, I agree, but would you call my realtor to fight with them, right? What are some ways to present the benefits of an option to an analytical?
Listing pros and cons.
You can list it against other options.
Right. With details, right? This car is $1,500 more, but the gas mileage is better. And in a year, I'll save $850. You know, by second year, I'll have my break-even point. I plan on keeping this car for 5 years, right? The analytical will just be all giggly. Yes, let's get option A, right? Because that's what they need. The social in that same presentation would be like Charlie Brown's teacher, right? Wah, 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 wah. What color are the cars? What are some of the behavioral clues for a social?
They talk about.
We talk about, right? Do you know how they feel? Yeah.
There's drama, the influencer will cry.
Yeah, they'll emote. Yeah. Or they will scream at you, or you know, whatever they are emoting, they are, you know, it's external. My uncle is amiable, and I wasn't there, but the kids and Cindy and my aunt and uncle, they came out from Illinois, and they were driving around Rocky Mountain National Park. And if you've ever done it, if you miss a turn, you keep coming back through like the front gate. I think it's Fall River Road. You know, you kind of go out and you get on Fall River Road and come back around. And they weren't getting to where they wanted to. They just kept doing this loop, and they kept coming through the gate. And Cindy said to my uncle, she said, "Are you ready to scream?" And he said, "Oh, I'm screaming on the inside." That is so classic amiable. He was, but they don't emote, right? And we already talked about asking where do you want to go to lunch, how each personality would respond. So here's an example in mortgage. This has actually changed, but for probably a decade, this is what it looked like. The federal government got together to make it an easier looking form, so you can imagine how difficult the new form is. But this is what a good faith estimate was prior to about 5 years ago. So there's several line items. The first one is the loan origination fee. There's an appraisal fee, credit report fee, application fee, tax service, processing fee, underwriting, all these fees. Up here is the loan amount, $172,000, the interest rate, how much they need to bring to close the loan. So you don't necessarily need to know anything about that, but how would you present that to an analytical?
Go through every detail.
Every line. Buckle up. What would you cover if you're talking to a social?
Maybe bring in like personal stories about what affected you when you were buying the home.
Yeah. Yeah, so your loan amount's $172,000, interest rate 6.25. You'll need to bring in about 13, 14 grand. You know, pretty common. That's what people tend to
In the
bring.
long run, it works well.
And in the long run, it works well. So is that your dog in the background? I hear, yeah, that's, Fido, Abby, you went thumbs up. Did that feel much better? How about a driver?
The bottom line.
Bottom line, yeah.
Find the one they need. Exact thing they're looking for.
Yeah. And they like to be in control, right? So you might even open with, so Bob, we can go through all the lines, or we can just hit the highlights. What would you like to do? Yeah. like to, the driver would probably tell, just tell me how much I have to bring in. You know, right? That's probably what you would get. Would you like me to go through all the lines or just kind of get to the bottom line? Just tell me how much I have to bring in. Okay, practical application. Like any foreign language, the best way to learn is to practice. Before engaging with a person, gain the winning edge, right? How much time was between first and second in the Kentucky Derby? 0.61 seconds. You're not going to fail in life if you don't use these techniques, but it could mean the difference. You know, it's gaining the winning edge. What we opened up with, the difference between the top performer and the rest is just a narrow margin. It could be as simple as asking a question or engaging with somebody on a personal level. It could be just a little thing that gets you the job or not, gets you the scholarship or not, gets you a lifelong in good with the in-laws or on the outs with the in-laws. So gain the winning edge by preparing the information according to the client, the other person's personality style. We know the characteristics, needs, fears, and strategies. Again, I'm going to put this on the Christian Homeschoolers of Castle Rock Facebook page. I suggest you download it and save it, because there will come times when you're like, man, I sure would like to go through that. You can take the test, and again, when you download this, if you put in this test or personality test, pages and pages will come up. So there's one, the discpersonalitytest.com costs $64. A lot of them cost $64. I did find 123test.com and then put in disc personality test. You can take a free one that's 5 to 10 minutes. Let me pause game. The more you pay, the more detail you will get. So just by getting a cheap test, you won't get as much detail. But that bottom one, you can take, it takes 5 or 10 minutes, and it's free. And it gives you some information back. I actually did it just to see how it worked before I talked to you guys. It's pretty slick. But then you get a button that says for $14.99 you can take a more extensive test and get more extensive background. And the advantage to that is the best way to use this stuff is first to understand yourself, right? If you understand who you are, it then helps you, I call it mitigating behaviors. And what mitigate means is to kind of offset. I will never be Abby, right? But if I want Abby to feel comfortable, I have to adjust my natural behaviors to make her feel more comfortable, right? So let's wrap it up. Any questions or anything? Okay, so please RSVP. I'm moving forward because Miss Cindy prepares snacks all Saturday. Snack payment thing, the $2 is on the counter. You guys are good at that. Next month, second Saturday, 7 o'clock, we're going to do first aid, which, like a lot of the stuff we talk about, you don't need it until you need it. And then it's too late to figure it out. So we're going to have Abby and Connor, they're both RNs, so that'll be fun. I'll be around with questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you guys. I guess not. All right, Merry Christmas. Eat snacks. Please stay on the tile for the snacks. Play games. Have fun. All right, thanks, gang.
Surprised you came out of your house.
Oh, that felt really good. Thanks.
That's our